from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for July 10th, 2020. Q's up 0.68, SPY up 1%. Not really too surprised here as we continue to make new highs here on the Q's. Bullish on the market here as we continue to be bullish. There have been a couple times in the last couple weeks here where we said we need to see some follow through here, and maybe we can start talking about a potential pullback. But you know, the Q's at the very least needs to get below a previous day's low to even start talking about it, and then we'd have to see a pretty decent amount of selling, and you see that just hasn't happened. Just up and up and up. So that's going to be the case going into Monday. Still bullish on the Q's and SPY. We have an uptrend on every time frame on the Q's and SPY here. SPY also looking pretty bullish, looking higher, looking like it wants to break out. So no surprise there. Not really too much to say about the market here as the Q's and SPY continue to be bullish. All right. But we had some pretty nice plays this morning, so let's go over those. Starting with the GBX, this was number one gap up here for me on the GBX, clearing the 200, but primarily clearing this base over here. And then we had an entry here over, what was it, 2450? Yeah, it was over 2450 there, over this space here. Now you could have played this buy setup. This isn't my type of entry. It's a little bit too weak at this point. Looking for us to establish more of an intraday transition. I don't really play transitions intraday all that much unless it's on a top tier gap, and this GBX was. So it was over 2450, stop at 24. So just a 50-cent stop there. It didn't look great actually for a bit there, and then finally once it started going, we got some pretty nice targets. I think this maxed out around 3.5, I think, is around where this kind of maxed out at. So it was a pretty nice play there. Rallied for a couple hours once it broke out. Pretty nice gap there. All right, on the GBX. So hopefully people were able to catch that. I know some people caught this UAVS with me, which I thought was a really, really pretty pattern this morning. So I put out a call on this. Could have managed a little bit better, but we'll get to that. Had some nice bullishness here. When I saw the daily chart, that's what I thought was especially attractive about this. You can see that I was starting this move here to break out after a little bit of a pullback there on the daily. Okay, so what we got here is the famous bleed pattern. So it does a pullback and then it bases sideways. If you're familiar with Sammy's favorite pattern, that's the bleed pattern, and that's what we got here on this 1 minute. So the entry was 171, so over 170. Stop. I give it a couple extra cents there under, I said put your stop at 165. So target one, we were looking for around 180, and we got there pretty quickly. So that was good. We got some out, took another piece. Really the only place I could have improved on the management here was on the runner piece. I did trail to the hourly, and the hourly just got us out. So the stop was at 171. So that was actually break even. That was more just coincidence. It wasn't that I was aiming for break even, but that just happened to be where it was. It came in to 170, and so then we had to get back in. So not a big deal to have to get back in. It was still a tight stop getting back in there. I gave you the numbers on this. It was over 176. So it was, yeah, it was over 177 there, right over that bar, and then stop was down here. So it's a 15-minute pullback. Okay, just a retracement there. And see, that's the bar that got us out, and then we kind of had to get back in right after that. That's usually how shakeouts look, is that they tag you out and they go right back up, and then from there they don't look back. So, you know, that means the shakeout probably accomplished what it meant to do, which was get some of these longs out, and then the longs got to, including me, got to get back in and chase it back up, and that creates the demand that kind of carried it here through the end of the day. So a couple plays on the UAVS, also a nice play on the GBX. So not a bad way to start off the week, or to end off the week here. All right, so those were the plays for me today on the GBX and the UAVS. Okay, so just to recap, going into Monday, still going to be bullish on the Qs and SPY here. We're up, you know, starting to get more and more extended from the Qs, but Not looking like we're ready to top out. Not anything that's an accelerated move up either. So bullish bias going into Monday. All right. Hope everyone had a nice week and has a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday. Have a good weekend.